Hey everyone, Scotty here. Had some questions on how I went about polishing my slide, and the first time I polished it, I literally just polished it. I didn't do anything else but polish the slide in the barrel. I didn't do any sanding at all. But today I decided I'm going to try and get a mirror finish on this guy, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And basically first, I'm going to go over the tools. We've got a 3/32 punch, got a hook pick, a flat screwdriver bit, and a hammer. So basically, as always, first thing we want to do, make sure it's unloaded, everything's clear. So we're going to take out the takedown pin, put our frame over here, take out our recoil rod, take out our barrel. Now this is dirty because I just shot it yesterday and didn't get a chance to clean it yet, but the barrel, I mean, it looks pretty good. I don't think we really need to do much on there. But we need to get this disassembled, and we're gonna show you how to do it. So first thing we're gonna want to do is take out our extractor pin. So we're gonna take our 3/32 punch, and then as you take your punch back out, make sure you hold that extractor in place so it doesn't go flying. Put our pin over here. Then we're going to take our hook tool and pull this out. This is where things get a little tricky. What you want to do is you want to get pressure on the firing pin until that pin falls out, and then very carefully, what I do is I take my finger back here to keep it safe. And then that is our firing pin. Our firing pin retainer. And then our firing pin spring. This is actually the M Carbo spring. I already have the spring kit installed in this bad boys. So next thing we need to do is get the sights off. Front sight is fairly easy. It's not in there very tight. Get on my block here. But basically just take your 3/32 punch, and on the rear hole, just give it some pressure. It'll pop right out. And we'll also, I don't think this is the right one here. It is. What do you know? This is, God, I want to say it's a 1/16. I forget what this rear sight takes, but basically just don't have to back up that screw a whole lot, just about a half a turn, and then that rear sight will slide right out. So we have our slide officially stripped, and we're going to move on to the next stop. So as you can tell, these come, pretty well machined. There's not too many machine marks in them, but there is some, and they do use a texturized finish. So, but basically what we're going to do, take a piece of 1000 grit sandpaper. We're going to fold this into thirds. And then in here, I got a bucket of soapy water. This is about 2-3 gallons of hot water with just a couple of drops of Dawn dish soap. What we're going to do is get your paper wet, and we're just going to sand really lightly, just a little bit of pressure. You don't need to go crazy. And basically you just want to sand it until everything's smooth and you have those machine marks out of there. Because I previously buffed this and polished it, it's fairly smooth as it is, so it shouldn't take too much work. As you can see, you get this dark residue in your water, and that is going to be your stainless steel that you're removing. Depends on how crazy you want to go on this. Me personally, I just want it good. It doesn't have to be crazy perfect. But I'm not really doing the inside of it, the bottom of the slide, or inside the chamber area here. Just because those little small areas really chew up your buffs. And again, this is, it's a $200 pistol. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, we're just trying to make it look better than when it came from the factory. And kind of like wood, you always want to try and sand in the direction of your machine marks and the direction that you're going to be polishing. That helps reduce sand scratches in the overall finish, and it also just helps keep it more uniform. As you're going, you'll want to, change up your sandpaper. 1000 grit paper does not typically last too terribly long on a metal surface. You'll probably go through about 2 sheets, but just make sure you keep sanding and switching it over to a new side as it smooths out on the paper. So make sure that you're actually removing metal and not just wasting your time. So yeah, this is looking really good. So as you can see, our Sky logo is still there because that's laser etched. Most of the machine marks are gone, and mostly what you're seeing now is the sand scratches. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step and start polishing this. Okay, so we're ready for the polishing. If you have a bench grinder with a buffing wheel, this will make your life so much easier. I do not, so I'm doing it with my power drill and a 2-inch by 1.5 inch. I believe this is a wool buff. And then I also have gray polishing metal compound. Fast cut compound is used to prevent light scratches and restore the natural look of copper, brass, stainless steel, and aluminum. So this comes in a little stick, and basically what we want to do is get some compound on our buffing wheel. Probably add, you should have glasses on for this. I'll be right back. Okay, so we got our glasses on, we got the compound on our buffing wheel. Basically, you'll want to have like a towel or a rag or something underneath just to try and help hold things in place. This is going to buck around a little bit here and there as we get towards the edges and stuff like that. So, but basically, what you want to do is work it back and forth in the direction that we just sanded. And you just keep working it until it's nice and shiny. Okay, so to put it together, and this is really tricky. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it can be done. But essentially what you want to do is first, I go ahead and get your extractor pin started. You're just starting it. So just give it a couple taps. And basically what we need to do, we're going to take our firing pin spring, put that in there, and then make sure your firing pin is clean and has a light coat of oil on it, which I've already done. And we have a notch in the firing pin, and we have to get that lined up with our extractor pin. So what you want to do is get it lined up like that, and then just drop it. And this is the tricky part. Got to take our flathead bit and kind of push that in there, and we need to keep pressure on it in order to get that retainer pin in. So we have our retainer pin, and you want the fat side going down into the extractor, or firing pin rather. And we are not lined up. This part is so tricky. There we go. Wasn't getting quite enough pressure on there. So once you get that retainer pin in, your firing pin will stay in place. So next part, now this can be a little tricky too, but we got our extractor spring, and we have our extractor. And what I like to do is get your extractor lined up. Oops. Which I am not. Okay, so get your extractor lined up, and what you got to do is keep pressure on that while you start tapping this down. And what I have found works the best is to put it up against the edge of the table. Whoops. Again, this is not an easy task. And okay, so we got our pin started. Take our punch. All right, got that in. Take our front sight, make sure you have the orientation right with your dot facing back. Push that into place. Take your rear sight and make sure you try to have it back where you had it before so you don't have to resight your windage. Mine does pretty good right dead center, just a hair to the left. So that's where I'm going to put it back. Snug it down. There's that. So basically we just need to clean this bad boy and put her back together. That's the my coffee. Okay, everything's all back together. Everything's clean and oiled. Time to put the barrel back into the slide. Put in our recoil rod. And there you have it. One polished SCCY CPX-2. It's a little oily, so it's not super shiny. Because I live in Ohio and it's humid as hell here. So we got to keep them well oiled. Otherwise they'll get rusty on you. But there you have it. That's all there is to it.